Okay, to get to the bowl flap and the seal that goes between the bowl and the pedestal, you have two bolts right here, 10 millimeter. That you can reach it while it's mounted in the trailer. Junior's holding the base because it's not bolted down on the bench, but you turn the bowl counterclockwise and it lifts straight up. See the pegs here, Nate? That's what it snaps on. Here's your seal. Now to get to the flap kit, the pedal just jerks off. I'm gonna try to hit Junior in the forehead. There's a Phillips screw in here. Take the Phillips screw out. That comes out. And just like the regular toilets, you can tilt the flap, bend it, and it will come out. And you put it right back in the same way. This will only line up one certain way. It won't go in here. It'll only go in snap on one certain way. And then the seal pops back on. Now, while this pedal is off, this is where the water valve assembly is. So, Junior, if one of you guys will demonstrate what we have to do there, talk it out, man.
So what he's doing is he's popping that little tab on the right with his finger.
Rotating it clockwise.
As he's rotating it clockwise.
Pull out.
And it just pulls out because it just slides over these little things like a lid for a tote. Locks on.
Y'all continue what you're doing there. Show that spring.
There's a rubber.
There's a little rubber grommet inside of there at the back. It covers over a spring, not a screen, sorry. A spring. And you make sure you put the spring in the big side on the bottom. And when you put the grommet back on,
Let's turn it sideways. Right there.
when you put the grommet back on top of the spring, you make sure you put it down over it. It has an open side. Only one side's open, the other side's flat. It's easier to use like a magnetic screwdriver. Got it down in there. Same with the rubber grommet. Make sure it slides down over the spring. And just kind of push on it a little bit, make sure it's set in there good. When you so no, you gotta put this in there first.
Yeah.
When you put this back in there, you gotta put it in from the bottom to the top. Pop that little plastic piece in, with a little tip up first. And you just slide it back down. And you twist it back on and lock it back down. And you make sure this is set. It grooves in between here and there. Move your fingers. Right in there. Slides right in there. And this is the right side tab that you pop when you're twisting it. And this is the pedal. So when you're putting the pedal back on, this little tip goes in this groove right here. This big pipe thing locks into there with the spring. The spring tip itself locks into that hole right there on there. Or right there, I'm sorry. It's marked and labeled spring, sits inside that. And then the flap tip rotates the flap. It sits in that square. And you got to kind of put the back end on first and then twist it to get the flap valve piece in there. Try and get the back lined up in there first and then hold the back in place when you got it lined up and kind of twist on it a little bit until you get this front piece popped in there. And then you just pop it from the side like that. It's popped in. That looks like. Pop it right on and off. Seems like you're gonna break it, but you won't. And that's just the way it's designed.
Yep.